Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30. It is Friday, March 14. We have rolled to the June expiration and starting to fill out a little bit on the volume side, but really pretty light Friday. Nasdaq is like absolutely light, has not rolled a whole lot at all. So today was kind of a gone day, wasted day when it comes to range on the Nasdaq, but it's it's a risk off kind of a day. I think they're still voting on this continuing resolution, but I think that's the reason market is trading higher as it is. It's pretty much a risk on market in a big way. Market is way up, and it's most likely because they're going to avert a shutdown, and the market likes that. So we rolled to the June contract. Consumer sentiment down this morning was terrible. Had a bit reaction in the morning, but pretty much settled in after that. So at this point, we are kind of going sideways. We are up here against upper levels of resistance. So we're right up here, kind of retracing this back up here. Now, until they get up above that 57.30, this volume edge can trade up in this upper area. I'm going to be still looking for short setups, though I'm going to be looking for early strength at this point. So looking for early strength to get started in the overnight going into Sunday, Monday. Looking for short setups all the way up here to that 57.30 area. So that's the way I'm looking at this. So if this is just a reaction from today's trading, I mean, if the vote fails in the Senate today, I think the market tanks. But if it succeeds, I think we're holding where we are and potentially extending a little bit. Still have to get up above that 57.30 to 40 area for it to really start taking hold. So one day doesn't really make a trend, but at least we have a pretty good move to the upside to lean against and a spot, but it looks like they at least cut off the selling from Friday or from Thursday. So looks like the selling was cut off at 5,500 and then we are back up again. And I would say that we're going to be entering stage two. At that, we're going to see a down day where they run down and test this level again. I think we may have just found the bottom. We will find out here in next week if they it's going to run down here and test these lows again. Anything can happen. You saw what happens, like you have a couple of bad headlines and the market just absolutely falls on top of itself. So anyway, looking at the ES to get started, looking to buy weakness at this point against this edge right there, 56.65. So this edge against the 56.50s for rotations back up. And looking for short against the 88.90s, 5700s, 5710, 5720, 5730s for rotations back down again. And so looking for that early strength to run up and test this. I think the better reverse retest probably happens up here between the 20s and the 30s or 20s and the 40s in this area. It depends on kind of how we get there, but I think that's going to be a better short. Running it up here, reverse retesting resistance, and then failing, taking it lower. That would be a potential trade to look for. If they take out the 30 to 40s here and starts trading up in this upper area, I think we may have a real shot at retracing this a bit, or at least a couple of days of a rally. So who knows how that turns out, but at this point, a little bit of a relief from the downwards pressure would be good. So that's how we get started on the ES going into the overnight, and not much to not any trades on my part today. Market is light like that. It's just not a very conducive to put on a bunch of trades. So it doesn't mean that you can't trade it. It's just a little bit too volatile for me at least. So I usually wait until Monday to get going again, a little bit more volume. So no trades on the ES so far, on actually at all across the board for me today. Looking at the bonds and the Nasdaq, and you can see here how the Nasdaq pretty much Nasdaq, I mean the bonds, it's pretty much just holding in a range. It hasn't done much, sticking in this range, right between 116.08 and the 117.20. So they're trading in the middle of this range right now, building value. So that would just stay range bound trading on the bonds going into the overnight on Sunday. Nasdaq also a pretty good move to the upside, risk on in a big way. They're up here against resistance at 850s, reverse retesting the open from this big down day back on the 10th, and that's a good sign. I think I like that. We'll see if they can hold on to this. I'm going to be looking to buy against support. It's going to be one level a little bit lower than this at the 840s. It's going to keep this edge at the 780s, and if it starts trading below that 780s, taking off the long bias and going back range bound. But it's looking for that early strength on the Nasdaq. If you can get up above the 20,000s, we may have a shot at really seeing some strength there. But you can see how that volume starts picking up again. Here again, the 20,000 to 20,060s. So they can get up above this area. I think they're in good shape to take this higher. So at this point, that's where we are. All right. So starting off, looking for early strength on the NASDAQ, looking for short setups against the 950s. All right, hang on, I should say it. Looking for short setups against the 900s, the 950s, 20,000, and up to that 20,070s for rotations back down. The same kind of dynamic on the ES. If they for some reason close below that 780s, we are back range bound. But I mean, at this point, both ES and NASDAQ, I'm going to be starting off looking for early strength. See if they can take this higher. And then finally, oil and gold. Gold, that's kind of holding in the range. They back off the high 3000s, but they haven't quite taken out that lower 85, 29, 85 level. So we're at range bound on gold at this point, starting off with a bias to the upside. Looking to buy against support at the 90s and the 86, 87s for rotations back up. And if they, for some reason, start taking out the 86s, potential retracement trade back down here to all the way down to that 2960s. So we'll see how strong this move is and if we get continuation. But this is not now a move out of the middle to the upside. We have extended today in today's session as well. So we're technically still extending to the upside. So I would trade it from the long side of the market, looking to buy weakness on down to the 86s. And below that one, I'm taking off the long bias and going back more range bound, looking for a retracement trade. And the oil, I checked it. It's the 17th. We last day on this expiration on oil. On March 18th, next week, we're going to roll to the May expiration, but not much action on oil today. Pretty darn range bound. So not much to say about that one. Structurally, it's still pointed lower. So I would look to sell strength if anything, but I would just emphasize range bound trading on oil at this point. And then let's see if we get any big moving day here at one point. But at this point, it's pretty darn range bound, and net to the downside is kind of the dynamic. All right, back to the ES, and so light volume today. I haven't traded anything. Just kind of watched it. Days like this is easy to get chopped up, and it's just probably better to trade the March expiration if you want to keep actively traded. But I just kind of roll it and I leave it on the June expirations. I miss a trading day, so big deal, you know. All right, so we'll wrap it there. So both on ES and NASDAQ, looking for early strength to see if they can retest these upper levels on ES. The key areas are going to be here about around the 30s. They can get at about 30 or 40s up in this upper volume area. We may have a shot at moving this higher. We'll see. We get continuation on Monday, early next week, or it's going to be something else happening. But there's also a Senate vote going on. So if that vote fails and there's a government, then we're going to get the government shutdown and the market is going to tank into the close if that happens, or probably unless it gets sorted out over the weekend, we'll have a pretty bad Monday. So that is the big caveat out there. Alrighty, we'll leave it there. Now wrap it up. I'll see you guys on Monday, bright and early. You guys have a great weekend. All right, guys, later.